from Northern Wild Harvest, and if you're new to our channel, we do large-scale adventure foraging in wilderness areas across Canada. Right now, we are out here in the Yukon Territory wilderness, and we are harvesting wild morel mushrooms off of previous year's forest fires. If you watched last week's episode, we had a pretty good day harvesting on a fire up near an area called Moose Creek, Yukon, and we were hiking in on the left side of the creek up a fire break. We kind of finished that area of burn, and the rest of the mushrooms are not ready to harvest yet. So there is another fire break on the other side of the creek, and that creek has too steep of a ravine to cross. So the only way to get there is to hike it separately from where we hiked in the last episode. So we're going to be attempting to hike down the second fire break. It's a longer hike. We have not scouted this area of burn, but we got mushrooms just across on the other side. So we are gonna bring our pack boards, all of our gear, and we're gonna see if we get into some more mushrooms. We're excited to get in there and see what we find. It's about an hour drive or so to where this fire is from our camp here, and our camp is in the middle of nowhere. There's really nothing around here apart from the highway. Before we go and hike up the patch, we need to go refill our wash water from the local creek. So I'm heading out today with Alex and Alec. Yo! And Randy's watching camp, security, keeping the animals away, fighting off the bears, and cooking food, delicious food. Randy was up at like 5 a.m. reloading the wood stove to keep our mushrooms drying from yesterday. They look good?
Yeah, they do look good.
Water jugs are full. There's our drinking water. Show you where we get it from here. A natural spring is just up this stream. We're heading into the bush now. We've got all of our safety gear, compass, GPS, drone, bear spray on our hips today. Might go in the bucket later. Lots of water. First aid, ready to hit the bush.
Ready to the bush?
Ready to go.
So that big burnt hillside over there is where we were picking yesterday in last week's episode. So we're on the other side of the creek. There's a big ravine between where we're going and that hill, hiking this other fire break. We don't know if it will actually take us there. So way in the distance, on the right side there, you can see the burn we're trying to get to. It's got a nice big chunk of green to go through, and we don't know if there's cliffs, creek crossings, bog, bears. We just don't know. It's part of the adventure. Burn right there.
Yeah, this is probably where they stopped the trail and they just fought it from here.
Already seeing morels. We're gonna have to walk through a section with no trail now to get in there, but it's not far. So we just walked through that. It wasn't very friendly to us. and there was not very many mushrooms on this side. So we need to check the side of the hill where it comes down and see if that sun exposure is more productive. But so far, not looking great. Little cluster just starting, but it's certainly not ready. And you know, in a good flush, there'd be 40 or 50 morels around these trees, not 3 or 4. Wow, thick bush. Just wants to grab you and twist you. Stabbed, poked, jabbed, punctured. We're onto this other exposure, and there are a few more mushrooms here. They're still quite small. There's probably about 20 around this tree, and there are a few that are big enough to pick. So what it seems like's happened over here is there's so many little trees like this, and then there's the odd big tree. So usually that means this probably was a forest fire 30 or 35 years ago. It's about this time it takes for trees to grow this tall here in the Yukon. And the bigger trees you see in between, probably the ones that survived the last forest fire. Now they burnt this time. It does make it hard to walk through because the trees are all at this stage, and it's not permafrost here, it's just younger forest. Look at this, and one of the only open places that probably didn't burn as much the last time. Here's some nice morels. So there's somebody's boot print, but it could be from fire assessment. Look, here's a boot print. There's a morel growing out of the boot print. This is a little bit dry, but let me just check to see that it's still good. Yep, looks perfectly fine. So this is dried out from the wind from being on the hillside here, but it's dried nicely and it hasn't really been rained on since it dried. So it's actually perfectly fine. It's basically just pre-dried for us, so we'll get an excellent dry ratio off of a mushroom like this. Well, we came, we looked, got a couple mushrooms, but we walked pretty far for those. So this burn, it was a bust. Busted. Bust! Okay, we're back at camp. Kind of a short scout. Not many morels in there, but let's see how our mushrooms from yesterday are doing in the dryer. With this nice weather, they should be going pretty quick. Oh, he's already taking a bunch of them out onto the flashing racks. Holy beauty. This is a common occurrence in the mushrooming industry here in Canada, but we're in the middle of nowhere in the Yukon, and in drives an old friend of Randy's who's one of the original mushroom pickers in the Yukon. So we spend about 3 hours just sitting there chatting as it goes in a mushroom camp. It is finally hot out. We've been waiting for this for almost 2 weeks now. Went and got a whole bunch more firewood. We're gonna buck that up later. Now we're going fishing. We got the canoe up on the roof. There's a lake just down the road we think might have some fish in it. So we're gonna go for a paddle. Got my ugly stick fishing rod. Johnny Fish approved. This thing has traveled all over with me. But I've never fished in this lake before. Well, we just got a little guy, but we're gonna release that little guy back into the lake. Too small to take. Back in the water with you. Cast a few more lines and then head home.
We were trying to get an in canoe.
In canoe.
We want to get it in the canoe. They're huge.
If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to follow along with the series. You You can find each of our mushroom seasons organized into playlists on our channel. Our online shop is linked in the description of the video for anyone interested. Thanks for watching.